Hi, it's Alyssa, and in today's video, I'm going to show you the bare minimum of what you can take to your 10-day silent Vipassana meditation course. I went to the Vipassana course in Clare, South Australia, travelling from Melbourne, Victoria. So we travelled with Virgin and therefore had 23 kilos that we could have travelled with. I ended up packing about 12 and a half just based on the size of this suitcase that I had. I'll be sure to leave a packing list in the description box. As you can see, I decided to take my zafu or meditation cushion. Hey, this is Editing Alyssa. I just wanted to add though that even though I love my zafu, I've only ever meditated on it for like 10 minutes at a time. And so I didn't end up using this for the duration of the course. It ended up being a bit too hard on my butt. It wasn't very comfortable. And also the teacher gave me a chair. It wasn't my choice. She just gave me one because she said I was moving around too much and being too noisy. So once I moved to the chair, I actually gave this to my cousin to use, who was on the trip with me. She's more advanced at meditation than I am, and she has the same zafu because this was a gift from her. She meditates for 20 minutes at home at a time on this, and she also didn't end up using it for the rest of the trip either. So she used it for a few days and it also got a bit too hard for her. So unless you're practiced at sitting on your meditation cushion for like an hour or more, then take it along. Yours also might be made differently. This is filled with buckwheat, but they have multiple cushions there. They're all foam pieces of different thicknesses, so like from really thin to quite thick, and also different densities, and they're rectangular, kind of like those yoga blocks. And so they have heaps of them that you can use, and they also have thin zabutons or meditation mats that go underneath, and you can stack multiples of them as well to get the thickness that you want. So yeah, at your discretion, take your zafu. People did take their meditation kneeling stools as well, I saw, but of the people that I saw using them, they didn't stay on them the whole time either. They were like, the three people that I saw using them were like transferring between a chair, the floor, cushions, and their little stool. I also did see that the facility, so this was the one in Clare, they did have, I think, some stools available as well. I saw one in the room, and then I don't know whether they had some like in the shed that they brought out for the other students. So yeah, up to you what you bring if you are traveling from interstate and you've got limited luggage. That took up a quarter of the space that I had. I did take this liner, which is a thermal liner for my sleeping bag, which I didn't end up needing. I took this hooded, packable puffer jacket, and I did use that, so I do recommend that you take this. Not knowing what the bedding situation would be, I also took my sleeping bag, which is ultra small, as you can see. I didn't end up using this because they supplied a blanket, which I used with my bedding. The next thing I took was a head torch. I highly recommend that you take a head torch, and I also took this lantern. You don't have to do that, but it ended up being helpful as a bedside table. And the head torch I used in the mornings when it was super dark and I wanted to go for my night walks. Otherwise, it's pretty well lit up between the buildings and your accommodation. I also took that battery pack just in case I couldn't get a power point to charge my watch, which was a smartwatch, which I recommend you take a watch because you need to know the times in case you're late to the meditation sessions. Compression socks are really important. You might not think about it, but you are sitting for up to 10 and a half hours at a time. And sometimes those sessions are broken up from 1 to 2 hours. So take compression socks to help with your circulation. Here's the bedding. So single bed fitted sheet and flat sheet. Highly recommend. They supplied a mattress protector at the location as well. So you have to put onto your mattress first, and then you put on your fitted sheet and flat sheet. I also took this beach poncho, which I highly recommend. because we had partitioned rooms, our own personal room. So if you sleep naked, you can quickly throw the poncho on to go to the bathroom. I also recommend taking a full-size towel like I did, which was quite thin because you're going to have normal showers the whole time. So, and I did see other people with their beach poncho as well. I took linen clothing, so 2 sets of daytime clothes, I called it. So 2 sets of linen pants. They were light and I was able to sit in the meditation pose in them comfortably. And it got really hot in Clare in March. And also when I wanted to wash them, they were really easy to wash and quick to dry. So I also have this linen shirt for the same reason. And I wore this tank top underneath the linen shirt. The linen shirt was essentially to keep modesty, and this tank top is from Uniqlo, from their Airism range. Also, again, thinking about the hot weather in Clare and wanting to be able to sweat and breathe properly and still feel fresh. This is an Airism t-shirt, also from Uniqlo, which I paired with my second pair of pants. So I was always feeling fresh and airy and light and clean. For days when the temperature dropped, I highly recommend that you take some thermals. So I took a long sleeve 100% merino wool top with 100% merino wool thermal tights and also 100% merino t-shirt as well. And I did end up wearing the tights and long sleeve top to bed on the nights where it was really cold because the temperature would also drop and there were storms as well. I would then layer these underneath my pants because they were light and movable with a bit of space. So on days where it was cold, I was able to wear them under my pants and just have that additional warmth. I also recommend packing some thick socks and light socks for your daily walks and also other cold days. Remember, you are waking up at 4 a.m. So I actually wore this lounge set for the early 4 a.m. cold mornings. And then on the nights where it got really cold, I would also layer this on top of my thermals as well. Before, you would have seen that I packed my hat or sun visor. I highly recommend that you do that. And I also took sunnies as well, so you could do your walks during the day, because you're sitting for so long, you do at least want to get out at least once a day to get your circulation going. And the only exercise you're allowed to do outside is walking anyway. So take your hat and glasses, and I took 50 plus sunscreen. The last item of clothing I packed was this long wool cardigan, which substituted for a meditation blanket. It was thin and I was able to wear it on the plane over. In terms of footwear, I recommend at a minimum bring 1 pair of walking shoes and 1 pair of slide-on shoes. So walking shoes because you can do your walking freely in the outdoor space, and depending on where it is, it's usually in the country, so you need closed-toed shoes because it's all dirt. And then with the slide-on shoes, that's because you can't wear your shoes into the residences or into the meditation hall, although you can wear your shoes into the dining hall, but you've always got a group of people behind you also rushing to get their shoes on or take their shoes off. So if you get slide-ons, you can do that efficiently. If you wanted to be a little bit fancier, you could bring a 3rd pair just to wear indoors in your residences. If you feel a little bit irky about, going barefoot into the shared bathrooms, although they were relatively clean. But also note that some people forget to take walking shoes, so they start walking around either in their slides or even bare feet. And that means that they're also walking into the communal spaces with dirty feet as well. So minimum 2 pairs of shoes, walking shoes, slide-ons. So I do recommend taking all of your toiletries, and probably even more. If you wanted to take face masks or any other skin, treatments, you should, because there's so much time when you're going to be lying in your bed. I wish I took my LED mask, because I would have, I spent a bit of time lying on the bed after I did all my walking and all my stretching, and I was probably the only one that did that consistently every day, and I still had time. And yeah, I said before, take as many socks as you can, because that way you can help regulate your temperature. And that's the bare minimum of packing. Some things that I showed you don't have to bring, you don't have to bring the head torch. They supply torches there, your little handheld ones. And, they have heaps of batteries. And they also provided digital alarm clocks as well. So if you don't have a watch, you don't have to bring one. And they also had a bunch of other things, like they had umbrellas. I saw that someone had requested a hairdryer, so on request you could dry your hair. They also told us that they had thermoses, for hot water, which you can borrow. So they have a lot of things that you may forget to bring. Also, I forgot to bring my shampoo and conditioner, and so there are old students that forget or they leave their toiletries there, so they were able to grab them, and I was able to take some for myself. So yeah, if there are any questions, do leave them down in the comments below and I'll try and answer. But a lot of the material things you need, they will really try and accommodate for you. They even supported me with my food intolerances. I follow a low FODMAP diet, and although like in the approval email or acceptance letter, they said, oh, we don't, cater for intolerances, they asked me like about 3 times just to make sure before the course started and it really helped my stay. So if you have any medications, take them. Because of those food intolerances, I did take all of mine. Just treat it as your home. It's 10 days. If you get to drive there, just take everything you can. But you do need to take it in to the residences with you, because you won't have an opportunity to leave the course to go to your car. Put like a boundary up. So that's the bare minimum that I showed you. Hopefully that's helpful. Stay tuned, because I will do a breakdown of like what each of the days look like. So I'll do an arrival day, what the days actually look like, and the departure day and the day you start speaking, just so you can have an idea of what's going on. I won't go into details of what the Vipassana method is, because you'll learn that there, and we all sort of interpret it in a way that helps us be able to practice it. And yeah, I possibly may also do a video with myself and my cousin to get perspectives on what it's like for a more novice meditator and someone who has done it more regularly. So look forward to seeing you soon in this Vipassana series.